I never imagined my life would spiral into something out of a scandalous novel. One moment, I was sipping my morning coffee, scrolling through my emails like any other ordinary wife. The next, my world was burning to ash in the palm of my hand. My phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. Curious, I tapped it open. And that's when my entire universe shattered. It was a selfie. A woman I didn't recognize was sprawled across my bed. The Egyptian cotton sheets I had picked out, the silk pillowcases I had pressed my cheek against for years. She was nestled deep into them, looking far too comfortable, her long, bare legs tangled in my husband's scent. She was wearing his shirt. My husband's shirt, the same one he always tossed on after we made love, his scent clinging to the fabric like a sinful whisper. But that wasn't the worst part. Beneath the image was a message. He sleeps so peacefully after a long night. Thanks for keeping the bed warm for us. I swear I felt my soul leave my body for a second. My lungs forgot how to function. The room blurred. My pulse thundered, not from pain, but from something deeper. Rage, fury, betrayal, lust for revenge. For 6 years, I had been Eleanor Vaughn, the devoted wife, the loving, supportive partner, the woman who had sacrificed, compromised, and whispered soft words into Lucas Vaughn's ears at night while he held me close. And now? Now I was Eleanor Vaughn, the woman who was about to burn down her husband's world. The taste of humiliation coated my tongue like poison. Oh, sweetheart, if you wanted to play dirty, you should have checked who you were dealing with first. I clicked on the number and typed a response. My fingers were steady, but my mind was already spinning, weaving a web of retribution so intricate, so deliciously cruel, that this woman, whoever she was, would wish she had never set foot in my home. Oh, I'm so glad you're keeping him entertained. You must be exhausted. But don't worry, honey, I'll take it from here. I sent the message, then calmly set my phone down. Lucas had no idea who he had married. And this mistress, this arrogant little plaything he had been toying with? She had no idea whose toes she was stepping on. If she thought I was going to slink away like a broken woman, licking my wounds while they played house in my bed, she had another thing coming. I took a deep breath, feeling my lips curl into the slow, dangerous smile of a woman who had just embraced her darkness. I was going to teach them both a lesson. And lucky for me, revenge was always best served hot. I didn't cry. I didn't scream, throw things, or break down like some weak, fragile little wife whose world had just crumbled. No, I smiled. A slow, knowing smile as I stared at that smug woman's message, her arrogance dripping from every pixel of that selfie. She wanted me to hurt. She wanted me to be broken, ruined, humiliated. Oh, sweetheart, if only you knew what you've just done. I set my phone down, exhaled a slow breath, and smoothed my silk robe over my thighs. Time to get to work. The first thing I did was book a 5-star spa retreat, on Lucas's card, of course. Deep tissue massage, gold-infused facials, champagne baths, the works. After all, why should I be the one suffering? I deserve to be pampered. The next step? A little makeover. By the time I stepped out of that spa, I was glowing. My skin was flawless, my hair cascaded in silky, voluminous waves, and my lips, plump, painted in a sinful shade of deep red, a color that spoke of secrets, danger, and untamed desire. I looked like a woman who had no regrets. Then I made a quick stop at La Perla and picked out something exquisite. Lace, satin, whisper-thin straps that barely covered anything at all. Because why not? If Lucas wanted to be a cheating bastard, I was about to remind him exactly what he was about to lose. By the time I got home, it was almost midnight, and that's when I saw it. Lucas's car was parked in the driveway. He was home. Perfect. I walked inside, moving with slow, deliberate grace. The house was dimly lit, the air thick with the scent of him, the smell of his cologne, his presence, and something else. Her. My lips curled in a slow smirk. She was still here. My phone buzzed again. Another message from her. You must be out tonight. That's okay. I took care of him for you. Took care of him? I stared at the message, my pulse thrumming with something dark, something wicked. Oh, she thought she had won. She thought she had power. I loved that she thought that. Because now I was going to crush them both. I didn't even bother replying. I just walked upstairs, heels clicking against the marble floors like a warning. Slow, poised, like a woman who knew she was the one in control. The bedroom door was cracked open. I could hear the soft hum of voices inside. A low, lazy male chuckle. Lucas's. And then a sickly, sweet, high-pitched giggle. I stepped inside. Lucas was lying there, shirtless, his hair tousled in that just fucked kind of way. And there she was, Miss Smug Selfie. She gasped the moment she saw me, yanking the sheets up over her chest, like that would protect her. Lucas sat up, his face morphing from shock to unease. I said nothing. I just smiled. A slow, lazy smile that made his Adam's apple bob as he swallowed. Oh, now he was nervous? Good. Eleanor, he started, his voice hesitant. But I just tilted my head, my gaze locked onto his. Did you have fun tonight, darling? My voice was smooth, silky, dangerous. Lucas's lips parted, but he didn't know what to say. He had no excuse. I turned my gaze to the woman, my eyes trailing over her like a predator sizing up its prey. She was beautiful, sure, young, glossy brown hair, sharp cheekbones, full lips that still held the ghost of a smirk. She thought she was winning. I let the silence stretch. I wanted them to feel it. The tension, the heat, the moment before the storm. Then I took a step forward. Slow, measured, deliberate. Lucas shifted uncomfortably, glancing between me and her. He had no idea what I was about to do. Neither did she. And then I laughed. A soft, rich sound that made Lucas's eyebrows knit together in confusion. She stiffened. I moved closer to the bed, and she shrank back. You don't have to be scared, sweetheart, I purred, tilting my head. After all, you were bold enough to text me, weren't you? Lucas muttered something under his breath. but I ignored him. He didn't matter. Not anymore. I reached out, running a slow, teasing finger along the edge of the silky sheets she was gripping so tightly. My touch was light, intimate, and oh, she didn't know what to do. Her breath hitched. Lucas tensed. I smiled wider. "Tell me, darling," I murmured, voice dripping with mock curiosity. "Was he any good?" The color drained from her face. Lucas's jaw clenched. His fists curled into the sheets. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. I leaned in just a little closer, letting my perfume wrap around them both like a spell. Then, in the softest, most sinfully amused whisper, I said, "Because he's never been able to make me scream." Lucas flinched, and just like that, the power shifted. I turned, walking towards the closet. I could feel their eyes burning into my back. I let my robe slip just a little, revealing one smooth, bare shoulder. I heard the sharp inhale from the woman behind me. I smirked. Then I grabbed my suitcase. Lucas's face paled. Now he knew. I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to beg. I was leaving. And I was going to make sure that when I walked away, he would never forget me. Because my revenge? Oh, my revenge was just getting started. I dragged my suitcase across the room, slow and deliberate, feeling their eyes burning into my back. Lucas looked like he was about to choke on his own breath. "Eleanor, wait." I didn't stop. Not when I heard the panic in his voice. Not when I heard her sharp intake of breath, her gaze flickering between us. She knew. She felt it. The shift. The undeniable power I held in my hands. And oh, wasn't it delicious? I turned, arching a brow, my fingers wrapped around the suitcase handle. "Wait? For what, Lucas?" His lips parted. He had nothing? No excuse? No justification? She, Miss Smug Selfie, was gripping the sheets tighter, her expression twisting into something that was no longer cocky, no longer smug. It was fear. Not fear of me. Fear of what I had just done to their dynamic. I had turned the game upside down. I smiled. Slow, lethal. The kind of smile that made men regret everything. I dropped my suitcase with a soft thud, walked toward Lucas with measured grace, and let my fingers trail up the column of his neck. Soft, slow, teasing. He shivered. "Oh, darling, you don't get to want me now." I leaned in, my lips dangerously close to his ear, close enough that he could feel the heat of my breath. Then, in a whisper made of silk and fire, I said, "You can keep her." His entire body tensed. I pulled back, my fingers drifting away, leaving goosebumps in their wake. He looked at me like he didn't recognize me anymore, like he was realizing too late that he had underestimated me. And then I turned to her. She was still gripping the sheets, trying to look composed, but her mask was cracking. I sat on the edge of the bed, just inches away from her trembling form. She didn't dare move. You wanted my attention, didn't you? I purred. Well, sweetheart, you have it now. Her breath hitched. She swallowed hard. I let my fingers trail over the silk sheets right next to where her hand was clenched, daring her to flinch. She did. I smiled wider. You texted me that picture because you wanted to win. But let me tell you something, darling. I leaned in, close enough that our lips were almost brushing. You don't win against me. You survive. She exhaled shakily. She knew in that moment that she had chosen the wrong woman to play games with. I stood, grabbed my suitcase, and walked toward the door. Lucas moved, like he was about to stop me. Big mistake. I paused, turning to him one last time, and whispered, low and wicked, Don't bother coming after me, baby. You're going to be way too busy. His brow furrowed. Busy with what? I grinned. Oh, he was about to find out. I slipped my phone from my pocket and hit send. Seconds later, Lucas's phone buzzed, and then hers. They both looked down at their screens at the same time, and then chaos. Her face went ghost white. Lucas's jaw clenched so tight I thought he might crack a tooth. I walked away, suitcase rolling behind me, heels clicking against the marble, leaving behind the masterpiece of my destruction. Because that message? It wasn't just a single text. Oh no, it was a mass email to every single one of Lucas's business associates, his clients, his family, his mother, his father, his boss, his investors, with that selfie attached. And beneath it, a beautifully written note. Introducing Lucas Vaughn, a man who loves screwing around more than he loves closing deals. Hope you enjoy the show as much as I did. By the time I reached my car, my phone was blowing up with notifications. Calls from Lucas, his friends, his boss. But I didn't pick up. I slid into the driver's seat, smirking at my reflection in the mirror. I looked stunning, unbothered, powerful. And as I drove away, leaving behind the wreckage of my old life, I knew one thing for sure. This was only the beginning, because I wasn't just going to leave him. I was going to make sure he never forgot me. And I was going to make damn sure that his mistress, she would never be able to look at another silk sheet again without remembering the night she lost.